What is up, everybody? The Destroyer here, and welcome back to another cast of the Rise of the Witch King, patch 2.02, version 5.0.1. Today we have a 2v2 on Tournament Rohan. So, we'll take a look. We have our first player, Fortress. His name is not Fortress, it's Mako. Or Mako, I think it's Mako. Mako is the Goblin player there. And we have his partner, Fenix, as the Man of the West. He also goes by Sania. And we have the opposing team, Flamen, or Flamen? I'll say Flamen. I don't know. Flamen? Sure, we'll go Flamen. Flamen is the Dwarves. And his partner, also being a dwarf, is SaMuRaI. So, two dwarves against a man and a goblin. Hopefully this is interesting to watch. Two dwarves might be difficult for the dwarven players, but also might be good for them. Hard to say, really. Sometimes it goes good for the dwarves, sometimes it doesn't. I guess it really just depends on what happens. Dwarves against goblins tends to be a bit difficult, I think, for the dwarves. In my opinion, at least, as they're very quick, very spammy. Hard to deal with for dwarves because they can't move as fast. But we'll see. Fenix going for Gondor soldiers there out of his barracks. Of course, that's not the caster Fenix, in case you're trying to get them mixed up there. And he does see this mine shaft. He is placing a beacon. He has found the forward mine of the player SaMuRaI. He's also got cave bats above it. And the Gondor soldiers know exactly where to go. Cave bats possibly should move over his allies' guys, though. No? Oh, well, that was a bit of a waste of cave bats. He could have used those to help his ally out here a bit. But the Gondor soldiers will hold until more men arrive. He's gone for Rohan Spearman. Interesting. We do have some Goblin warriors on the way to help out, looks like. As well as some Goblin warriors going south also. Dwarven builder here hasn't quite built a forward mine yet. Looks like he's opting to do so over here. He's going to run right into this goblin tunnel, though. And then Mako will know exactly where to go. Yeah, he tried to build there, but it failed. These phalanxes are holding quite nicely. Phalanxes, of course, will counter the goblin warriors. Swords versus pikes in that situation. The swords are just too weak. Unless they have a mass amount of them. Looks like he's gone for the Rohan Spearman to actually clear out this war glare. I guess that's a good idea. And Goblin Warriors will clean up this forward mine shaft of SaMuRaI. But he did get some Dwarven Guardians out here before. As you see, there's a couple of them. Looks like Fenix has lost some farms. And he's continuing to lose men here. He has got some Gondor archers out in the field, though. Those should help clean up these Dwarven guys fairly well. But look how tanky they are. Even without a buff, they're still pretty tanky and hold ground stance. But they will be killed off before they reach the archer line. Almost getting a swing off. But not quite. And now Flamen has some goblins in his base. Although he should be able to deal with those fairly easily. Looks like most of them has been killed off before they even got anywhere near anything. We have Axors out now for SaMuRaI. Axors, of course, will be incredible against these Goblin Warriors. And pretty much anything else. Axors and Guardians are very, very strong combination. The classic strong combination for Dwarves, as you would expect. As they are the early game archer units for Dwarven teams. We have more Goblin Warriors being poured in from the north here. Some down here as well. Dwarven player is doing a good job of getting a lot of mine shafts around the place. Did he manage to get his builder out of there, I wonder? Nope, there it is. Actually being chased down by these Goblin Warriors. Flamen putting his builder in his line of pikes. Trying to save it. Possibly should run a bit farther in. Yeah, there you go. Now he's safe. It looks like he might even possibly be able to save the mine shaft. Yeah, easily. Very nice. Now the Dwarven team from the bottom right pushing up north with a fairly scary looking army. Although Fenix does have his troops ready Rally call going down on both. I can't say which one is stronger per se. SaMuRaI's army's very strong as well, but there's a lot of archers for Sandy's army here, or Fenix rather, whichever you want to go by. I'm just calling him Fenix because his name is Fenix Game. Makes sense. But yeah, Fenix's army, while it is very archer heavy, all these guys do tank archer shots fairly well, but there is enough here for Fenix to actually clean that up easily. And it looks like the dwarves are attacking over here as well. He took out that tunnel down there. And now Flamen will begin pushing in. Will he... I don't know if he's going to bypass this tunnel. I thought he was going to attack the tunnel. Possibly he was going to go for a goblin cave. We have 2 battalions of goblin archers out for Mako. He's looking to counter the dwarven team here. They do decent damage. Don't underestimate a goblin archer. They are fairly effective. And we have a Prince Brand out for Flamen. Good choice. Not, well, I say that, but I've been told that Prince Brand is not the best choice for a goblin team, or up against the goblins, and I'd actually agree. Reason being, that he's really good at killing, like, single units, and, like, his splash damage against a goblin horde isn't really effective, you know? It's like, it's a goblin horde. It doesn't really matter. And of course, once they get up on him, he will be taking a lot of damage, and he can't get away. He is useful, don't get me wrong, but he is not the best choice, I think. Although, if you can keep him behind an army of dwarves, that would be good. But I'd say getting an army of dwarves over a Prince Brand would probably be a good idea against goblins. Because Prince Brand cannot hold off an army of goblin warriors at all. As you see there, he's having to run for his life. Bring out some guardians here. I should help out a bit. And he will begin to burst down as many as he can. Of course, he is in aggressive stance, so he will take increased damage as well. Especially when running away, he'll take flanking damage. Looks like he's trying to kite him into his guardians the best he can. There you go, he's put into whole ground stance to make him a bit tankier. Unless he has heal, though. Things are not going to go well for him, I think. Ooh, he did have heal, thankfully for him. He really needs to get rid of the goblins in front of him. And these guardians getting level 2 and also using their charge ability there. Very nice. I'll take a look at powers in a second here. I kind of glanced over them, but I wasn't really paying attention. Fenix has still a fairly sizable army. Now he's upgraded to tower guards. This should be useful. Of course, they're much better than Rohan Spearmen. But there's a lot of axe throwers here, and I guess not a lot. There's only 2 battalions. Still, they're fairly dangerous, though. The cave bat should help out with that. And so should these Athelian Rangers. Those are actually Dunedain Rangers. Oh, he's captured the inn. So it looks like Fenix will be getting Dunedain Rangers, which are pretty much Athelian Rangers, but cheaper. Are they cheaper? I guess they're not in this patch. Oh, they are cheaper. They're 100 cheaper, in fact. So they're very useful. They still got the long shot ability, of course, which is always nice. And then they're just powerful archers in general. A great in unit, no doubt. And it looks like we have 1 battalion of axe throwers here, 1 battalion of guardians here. He's got a few things all over the place. He's got some... Oh, those are Flamen guys, aren't they? Yeah. I was gonna say, he's not gray. What does he have exactly? Let's take a look at his mine. The only thing SaMuRaI has is an axe thrower and a phalanx, and then this guardian up here. As far as I can tell. So he's definitely going to need more men if he's going to win here. Although he does have a hero, it looks like. He does have himself a Prince Brand. So both Dwarven heroes, or Dwarven teams going for the Prince Brand here. Looks like this Prince Brand is still alive, so that's good. You could get a big slam shot off here if these goblins are clumped up enough. Because he didn't go for it. Opting to shoot the ones in front, though. Probably not the best of slam shot there in the world. Looks like the guys back here were cleaned up by the defending team in the north. And now Fenix is beginning pushing south with his strong army. He has the Tower Guards and the Duna Rangers. A good combo. Fenix could go for a hero now at this point, I think. That would be a good choice. Or fire arrows. Yeah, he's going for fire arrows. Fire arrows would definitely be a great choice. With all these archers he has, fire arrows will increase his army damage output by a lot. Looks like we have Men of Dale out for Flamen. Flamen, whatever. I forgot what I was calling him. Men of Dale, of course, will be very beastly against these Goblin archers, or Goblin warriors. Goblin anything, really. Well, the Dwarves do lose a builder there. That's unfortunate. Not able to outrun the poison blades of the Goblin warrior. Never a fate you want to have befall your builders. Unfortunate. East Fenix is holding it fairly well. Trying to keep control of this outpost. Signal fire, rather. Looks like the Goblins keep respawning. Although the Dwarves doing the same. Both teams had a banner. The Goblin Warriors will be cleaned up there by the superior might of the Dwarves. We have a summoned Men of Dale for the blue player SaMuRaI. Let's take a look at PowerPoints while I'm blabbering. So, of course, we have summoned Men of Dale, rebuild, rally call, and 2 PowerPoints. 244, 650 command points for SaMuRaI. Bottom right dwarf player. We have Tom Bombadil just being summoned in from Fenix, who has that heal rally call. Nice little sonic song there. And he's at 302 of 700 command points. Flamen, the bottom left dwarf, has heal rally call, 12 power points, and 604 of 550. So he's actually way over his command point limit. And it looks like he's in a big engagement right now. And of course, Mako, the Goblin player, has Scavenger, K-Bats, Rally Call, 1 power point, and 326 of 525 command points. So as far as economy goes, Fenix is definitely doing the best, and SaMuRaI doing second best there. The highest command point cap limit. That can be misleading if the Goblin player uses the burrow expansions on his fort, because those do increase your command point cap limit without giving you economy. But most players don't do that, as you see there. Most players will opt to go for defense and just get some tunnels instead, which is generally a smarter thing to do. The only reason I use burrows is if I really feel I can't keep my expansion, my tunnels protected well. Then I can just get a few command point caps increases from my fort that way. Looks like the Dwarves will be victorious here, though, against the Goblin hordes, but of course they are far from done, as Mako is sitting on 5 Goblin caves and a spider pit. He'll begin sending more guys out very shortly. Looks like SaMuRaI trying to take out the dwarf, or the dwarf, take out the cave troll, and he will succeed in doing so. He'll get that cave troll layer down, and he can capture this in and get hobbits if he just so chooses. Hobbits are pretty good. Aerial volley being used there, or long shot, one of the two. Probably a long shot. Yep, was indeed. These guys using a long shot there, although not hitting their mark. We do have a marketplace upgrade for Fenix. Of course, giving him a 12% bonus increase to all his farms. Definitely a useful thing to get when you're Men of the West. And of course, if he had a Men of the West teammate, his Men of the West teammate would benefit from that ability as well. So only one of them would actually need to get that. So that's a thing. Prince Brand trying to fend off the invaders, though. There's an overwhelming amount of Men of the West guys here in comparison to the Dwarves. So he's still trying to get his level 3 archery range so he can get his fire arrows. He does a well back here, though. So 2 wells, in fact, so he can heal up. The effects do stack. They don't heal up your guys faster, but they do replenish the units faster, as far as I've been informed. So that could be right, that could be wrong. I'm assuming that's right. And I think that stacks up to 4 wells. Possibly? I think that's what I was told. I'm only knowing what I'm told, not what I know. Anyway, we have K-Bats over the army of the Dwarves here. Goblins managed to get some guys through, but most of them being picked off, actually. There's some Men of Dale in the trees here, strangely enough. Also some phalanxes. You go heal those up at this hearth, that would be pretty nice. Since they are a bit wounded and have a loss of troops. Looks like he did summon an undermine here. Undoubtedly to stop the encroaching army. Because it does throw them up into the air. And probably, I think it actually kills the army of goblin warriors as well. It does a bit of damage when it comes up. Kind of like a Balrog does, but not nearly as excessive. Spider Rider's getting a good run through there. Taking very few casualties and killing off a few guys. And managing to get away. It sounds like Mako has got a Drogoth the Dragon Lord. Which is never really a good thing to bring against Prince Bran, Captain of Dale, but I guess we'll see how that works. Because Prince Bran, once he gets level 7, he gets the Beast Slayer arrow, which does extra damage to flying enemies and severe damage to monsters. It just so happens that Drogoth is both. So, it does a lot of damage to Drogoth. Of course, the Men of Dale doing a lot of damage to Drogoth as well. That Men of Dale summon doing incredible damage, causing Drogoth to have to flee there. Being almost completely useless. 5,000 gold coins down the drain. Not down the drain per se, because he still has them, but he cannot utilize them. And if you have such a big investment you can't utilize on, it's kind of pointless. Looks like Fenix is doing fairly well against the bottom right Dwarven player, though. So things are fairly even, I'd say, right now. The bottom right Dwarven player is kind of being overrun a bit. Oh, King Ding. Trying to get out of there. He gets healed, actually. There you go. But yeah, the Men of the West are doing better against the Dwarven player here, but the Dwarves seem to be doing fairly well against the Goblins. So it is a matter of either who saves their teammates or who kills their enemy first. So we'll see what happens with that. We do have a Wildman of Dunland summon right in the back of the archer line that should help kill off a few of these Men of Dale. As you expect, they're not very tanky. He has the fire arrow upgrade though, which is fairly useful as you would expect. Fire arrows on Men of Dale are very good. Unfortunately, he got out of position though, and the archers get ran over by the Spider Riders for the majority of it. Ooh, brutal. Looks like he passed through these guys without actually hitting them. That was a little weird. If he did hit him, yeah, he's strange. That was almost like a bug. I don't know, but the Spider Riders do get killed off there. SaMuRaI still has a defense force. He's not by any means defeated. He does have his King Dane still as well. Although I don't know if he should be running around without an entourage. Although he can take these Dunedain Rangers. Those are actually Athelian Rangers though. Athelians will have to retreat. And he is actually attacking the back of the base of Fenix as well. Trying to get down this farm. He should be able to take that farm. But his army will be cleaned up, of course. There is an overwhelming amount of archers there. Some battle wagons would be pretty good for SaMuRaI, I think. But whether he'd be able to get some good run-ins on the archer line or not would be another story. He is keeping some Rohan spearmen with him at all times, as well as some tower guards. Although not a huge amount comparing to how many archers he has. Of course, the archers can actually kill them down before they reach them as well, if they see the battle wagon coming. So that is something to keep in mind as well. It's like Mako trying to capture the flag, actually does not manage to get it right before they get killed off there. Unfortunate for him. This Dwarven army is fairly strong. It is looking very scary. Oh, Dwarves actually going for Mithril Mail. That will make them increasingly difficult to kill. He could even get it on his... Yeah, I say he can get it on his archers as well. Men of Dale with Mithril Mail. They look pretty cool, in fact. Yeah, I know. They're really happy about their armor upgrade. As they should be, because that's going to make things very, very difficult for Mako. I don't see him getting through that army anytime soon. Not with this rabble. He's even got a lumber mill guy in there. An orc laborer. Although Drogoth will be very useful against the bottom right dwarf, assuming, yeah, Prince Bran is not in the area. His Prince Brand is level 7 though. He does have a Beast Slayer. If both Prince Brands hit him with a Beast Slayer, he'd be dead instantly, I think. I'm pretty sure it does over half his health. I'm not positive. So don't quote me on that. And we have a big attack from Fenix here. These dwarves do have upgrades. They have Mithril Mail as well. Are these from these are Flamen's guys also, actually. And we have SaMuRaI summoning in some Men of Dale to help counter these guys here. Cloudbake being thrown down so that they cannot move at all. And now the army will be cleaned up here for Fenix. So he will have to retreat. We also have a Gimli out. I believe it's a blue Gimli. Yep, that's SaMuRaI's Gimli. But with most of the army gone into the base of his ally, it seems the bottom left player, Flamen, will have an issue of goblins invading his base while he's not home. So he really needs to get back to his mine shaft, wherever his is. I think his is right here, yeah. Because all his army is on the right side of the map. If he doesn't go defend his base, it will be overrun. Prince Brand getting a nice slam shot there, but he is taking a lot of damage. We'll have to retreat. Looks like some Phalanx has managed to get up here, as well as some Men of Dale. Look how well they hold out against the Goblin Archers with the armor upgrade. And of course they one-shot Goblins, which is also useful. The Wildman summoned in right on top of Prince Brand. Prince Brand needs to get the hell out of there. Will he manage to make it? He is running in hold ground stance, so he will be moving slower. He probably should have went for the mine shaft. Unless he has oil casks on this fort, which he does not. And he does lose his Prince Brand, unfortunate. Something I like to do is get like the Magnum Cauldron and the Prince Brand, the Magnum Cauldron or the oil casks, what have you, and kite the enemy army behind my fortress, and then use it. It's kind of fun. No one ever expects the Magnum Cauldrons, the boiling oil, or the oil casks on the fort, even though you can physically see it on the fortress. But a lot of players just don't pay attention, and it tends to work out in your favor. No one's done that in this game. No one has needed to. Looks like that was a barrage there on the army of Fenix. Things are looking a bit dire at the moment, although a nice arrow volley going down, killing off a lot of these dwarves. And now the attack of the dwarves has been repelled. We have a trebuchet out, a couple trebuchets out for the men in the west here. Also do great damage against the Axors, of course. We even have an Eomer out on the field as well. Now Gimli and Brand will have to get out of town if they hope to survive. What is this? Hearth being constructed over here. Looks like he does have a tower here. Some Axors in it. So he does have reinforcements as well. That is his ally, of course. These are SaMuRaI's troops. I guess SaMuRaI is that player, isn't it? So all these are from SaMuRaI. Borman's going to use his horn, although his horn would be useless if King Dane is in the area, which he is. Stubborn Pride is a resistance to Fear and Terror, which the Horn of Gondor is... oh, Fear and Terror. So it won't do any good. Look at all these Men of Dale, holy shit. None of these are summoned in either. Those Guardians level 5? These Guardians are level 5. They've been alive for quite a while. You should really go for the Forged Blade upgrade at this point. Oh, he actually has it. You could even get Siege Hammers, which would be increasingly good once he actually goes up. Oh yeah, of course he has Forged Blades on them. And he does not have them on the Guardians though. For a level 5 unit, I would put them on immediately. Unkillable Guardians. The top team definitely having issues killing off the Dwarven armies at this point. What seems to be had going in their favor early game is now becoming very hard to deal with. Because once dwarves get going, they are very difficult to stop. All their units are very tanky, they have very good archers, their siege is great, their heroes are great. Dwarves are a very powerful team. It's actually my worst team, I'd say, when I play. But in the hands of a right player, the dwarves are one of the better teams, I'd say, probably. At least late game. Their mobility can be a bit of a hamper, as you would expect. They are slower. So against like a team against the elves, they can be really difficult. Since they're quick and they have a very far range, like Mirkwoods and Noldors can shoot you from miles away. Can be very hard to deal with. Arrow volley going down, or probably long shot actually. Doesn't look like it did too much damage though. All those guys are buffed and in hold ground stance, so they will take a lot of damage. Now Fenix is in a bit of trouble here. Will he be able to fend off this attack, I wonder? I guess only time will tell. We do have a Summon Men of Dale from SaMuRaI as well. Gimli being chased down. Eomer should use his spear throw on Gimli, although Boromir is going to actually catch Gimli and finish him off. That's unfortunate. And Boromir does get a level up from that. One more level. He'll get his leadership, which would be great for the Men of the West, of course. Faramir getting killed off there, though. Getting caught in the middle of the army of the Dwarves. Looks like Dane is still alive. Boromir now behind enemy lines. He's going to take a lot of damage trying to get forward. Tom Bombadil being summoned in, trying to help out. Boromir didn't quite make it. Unfortunate. And a big army of Dwarves gets summoned out of an undermine here from Flamen. Meanwhile, there is an attack on the base of SaMuRaI. Mainly just a lot of Goblin Warriors, though. If he gets Oil Cast, he would actually have no issues defending his base. He has got a Catapult expansion to help defend, so that will be useful. So we'll summon Rohan allies to try and counter this Dwarven army. It's not going to be enough, though. There's too many strong Dwarves here. They're really buffed and they're really upgraded. And a lot of them are really leveled up as well. These guys being level 5 still. They can use their charge attack when they want as well. And things are looking very bad for Sania. The Dwarves have just gotten too tough. Let's see, SaMuRaI is got 25 power points. So incoming Earthquake or Citadel, one of the two. The other Dwarven player getting very close as well. He's at 23. What did he choose, I wonder? He hasn't chosen anything yet. I guess SaMuRaI is a bit busy, but once he realizes, there he goes. He's got the Earthquake. Will he throw it down on the fortress? That wasn't the best use of an Earthquake, I'll admit. He used it on his own army. Why would you do that? It hurts your own units. Well, that was possibly the worst Earthquake I've seen in a while, I'm gonna admit. So, yeah. SaMuRaI. No. He turned what could have been a fatal blow into a fatal blow on himself. Strange. Anyway, maybe Flamen's Earthquake will be a little better. One can only hope. I'm thinking he was thinking it wouldn't hurt his own troops, but it very much did. And now there is lots of Athelian Rangers out in the field for the Men of the West player Sania, who is not going to die this day. A couple of Mountain Giants on the field for Mako. Actually, 3 of them. So if the Dwarves don't stop those, they will start bombarding the fort. Have the Dwarves lost all hope from winning and momentum? It is possible. He does have to keep these Mountain Giants alive, though, if he has any hope of defeating this Dwarven fortress. He does have the force, though. He has lots of Goblin Warriors and even some Half-Trolls to stand in the way. Half-Troll Swordsmen are pretty good, and then he's got Half-Troll Marauders as well to help out. The Giants are doing good damage. He can be placed by Flamen, showing he needs some help, possibly. Apparently he didn't get a 25-point power, instead he got something else. I think he got rebuild. Forced to getting rebuild, he can't quite get his 25-point power yet. Which is fair. I would have definitely went for rebuild there as well. And that actually fended off the attack of the Goblins. Now that he has enough Men of Dale here, he should begin doing a bit better. Look how little Goblin Warriors do to these upgraded Men of Dale. These aren't even upgraded, they're just buffed. Once they get the Mithril Mail, they're going to be unkillable for Goblin Warriors. That's insane. That just shows how good Men of Dale with Mithril Armor are against Goblin Warriors. In general, I guess. They even tank these rocks fairly well from the Mountain Giants, which should be like countering them fairly well, but they're not. I mean, they are. They are keeping them knocked down and getting them killed as well. So they are doing their job. Prince Brand should be able to take out these giants fairly well, though. Well, I guess his regular shot doesn't do very much, but his Beast Slayer does. Of course, it is on cooldown, though. Let's take a look over here. It looks like SaMuRaI is trying to finish off Sania. Will he manage to do so, though? Is the question. Of course, we do have a Drogoth helping out as well. Actually sending Glowing Flying there. Always fun. Drogoth is level 3. Once he gets level 6, he'll have Fire Flights. He has level 3 Wing Blast, which isn't very used very often. If you send it over an army, it'll keep knocking him down, which is kind of useful, but generally speaking, not super the best skill to use most of the time. Sending it in here was probably a mistake, though. If these Men of Dale burst down in the Drogoth, it will fall very rapidly. Although it looks like he's not paying attention, manages not to do that. So, Drogoth will live another day. He's coming in for another swoop, though. There he goes. He's focusing down Drogoth, and Drogoth will fall. A big loss for Mako. I knew that was going to happen. With a Prince Brand and all these Men of Dale, that was inevitable. Looks like Goblins are doing some damage down here. Meanwhile, there is still an attack on the Men of the West Fort. Will he survive? I think so. It's mainly just a few stragglers, it seems, at this point. Dwarven builder getting killed by a trebuchet of fire arrows. Or fire boulders, rather. We have some summon wildmen in here. And looks like Goblins are in trouble, I'd say. He's going for the Fire Drake Brood. Brood Horde. I always forget the Horde part. He's also summoned a Worm in to help deal with these Men of Dale. A good choice. Worm is a very beastly unit to use on armies. And we'll actually clean up the majority of these dwarves. And looks like the Fire Drake Brood going around, trying to burst down Prince Brand. Of course, Prince Brand won't be able to outrun these. There's 2 of them, actually. I didn't realize you got 2 battalions of them. And they're doing good amounts of damage. Although he's taking a lot of damage in return. And he will retreat, but he has 2 giants and some goblin warriors. And continuing to pop them out and send them south. We're still trying to try and attack on the base of the Men of the West. It's going very back and forth. Looks like we have Gandalf out in the field for Fenix. Although, look how much one hit from Slayer Gimli does to Gandalf. Gandalf is going to die here. I'm fairly certain, unless his kiting skills are absolutely amazing, which pretty much is impossible. He could have used an axe throw at that point and killed him. Gimli killing off 2 heroes before running away. Will he get away, though? Oh, it's going to be close. I hear the Balrog. Oh, we have some horsemen being summoned into his way there. Alright, well, we'll go down here. Balrog being summoned in from Mako. Although his army is pretty much dead, so it's just Balrog at this point. He really needs to get rid of this. This needs to die. The fort is not important. Using Balrog on a fort is never a good idea, in my opinion. Unless it's the only thing left. Or you feel you can finish it off. But look how much that building costs. It's what, 500 for the building? 500 for the first upgrade, 1,000 for the next upgrade? It's expensive as shit. It's almost as much as a fortress if you think about it. And of course that will cut off his Men of Dale production. Which is really, really what he needs to do. Now Goblins are in a great position to overwhelm the Dwarves player here. So Flamen probably will fall at this point, I think. With that Balrog. Continuing to do damage to the fort. He could use it to destroy the economy, but doing damage to the fort at this point, not a bad idea. He does alright damage. Once he gets some giants over there, they'll finish it off if he can. And now the Men of the West actually pushing forward as well. They're making a bit of progress also on their front. We still have a fair amount of guys there though, but there's still a lot of Rohirrim on the field. And now we have the summon Dunedain allies to help out. How is the Men of the West doing in PowerPoint wise? He's at 22, almost 25. Once he gets 25, I'm assuming he'll have Army of the Dead. Actually, I'm assuming he can go for either one. So he can go for Earthquake or Army of the Dead. Army of the Dead probably be a better choice though, as it will kill off anything left. We do have Earthquake ready to be used for Flamen. I've said his name Flamen and Flamen like so many times. I'll just keep alternating so I can't be wrong. But anyway, he has Earthquake being ready to be used here. So wherever he chooses to do so. Be pretty destructive right here. It will slow the attack of the goblins as well. Although he could use it on the goblin army also. As we've seen, it does kill armies. Of course, we've only seen that happen on their own team. I mean, he did hit a few of the summoned Dunedain Rangers the last time he used it. But. And there's a big barrage there, finishing off any of the Rangers that are left. Except for the captain of the Rangers, of course, Faramir. He will survive through that. And a few stragglers as well. Of course, they are on timer, so it doesn't really matter. They will despawn eventually. The Dwarves will hold here, I think. Although not after... Not before losing a lot of stuff. So Sania really needs to get some more guys down there. We have a Fire Drake Brood still on the field. Doing absolutely incredible amounts of damage to the Men of Dale. And anything in between. These are really a good unit to counter these Men of Dale. Assuming they can get to them. If the Men of Dale were focusing them down, they would take them out very quickly. Especially if they use the Black Arrows. I think Black Arrows cause the Fire Drakes to flee. Like it says. It causes monsters to flee in terror. And it does good damage too. I'm pretty sure. But it doesn't look like he's using Black Arrows. Doesn't look like you need to. Fire Drake Brood barely getting out alive. It is level 2 though. It will start regenerating. Unless being picked off by Prince Brand. Will that happen? No. Looks like a giant has gotten to range of the fort here. It also looks like a Fire Drake Brood has been ravaging the back of the lands here. Prince Brand using his Beast Slayer arrow, easily taking out the Mountain Giant in one shot. So he didn't get very far there. And now Fenix pushing in once again. Honestly, he just needs more trebuchets and archers at this point. A lot of trebuchets and archers would really be difficult for the dwarves to deal with. Of course, he does need some guys to stand in front, which would be what these tower guards are for. The armor upgrades wouldn't be bad. Armor upgraded tower guards are pretty tanky. Especially if they have leadership or a buff of some kind. And they're in Porcupine and Hold Ground stance. They're fairly hard to kill, just like a Phalanx. I don't know which is stronger per se. Probably still a Phalanx, but I don't know. I honestly have no idea. This Fire Drake Brood is really dancing the line of death. Dancing close to the fire, so to speak. Glenn finishing it off though once and for all. Although he might actually die himself. He is in a world of hurt here. So surrounded by enemies, and in comes a flood of Goblin Warriors. There's no way he's getting out of there. And Glenn will fall there. Oh, it's too bad. And we have another counterattack from SaMuRaI. Once again on the base of Fenix. Will he manage to do some damage? Looks like he's used Earthquake recently, so that's probably for the best. He's got 27 power points though. His ally using Earthquake though this time, not on his teammate as well, which is always good. But Army of the Dead being summoned in, that's unfortunate. And that will completely shut down the Dwarves' invasion. Even bringing in a Citadel. So that was what he went for, of course, with his power. All the Dwarven heroes being cut down way before their prime. I don't know what the prime is for a dwarf. Maybe like 300 years old. Who knows? Unfortunately, though, he will lose his Citadel and his attack force. Although it looks like Fenix actually lost his level 3 archer range. That's just kind of a big loss. And before the Citadel goes down, it uses its mighty catapult, takes out a barracks. Does a little bit of damage to the fort as well. It's actually, Sandy is in a bit of trouble. His base, at least, is. Although, fortunately for him, there isn't much in the way of an army to threaten him at the moment. Except for the way of Gimli. Running in here with Slayer on, just to one-shot this trebuchet and get out of there, I guess. Or possibly finish off Faramir. Faramir, unfortunately, will die here. He should really use the Axe Throw. Axe Throw does a ton of damage when Gimli's in Slayer mode. Players tend to forget that. The Axe Throw gets buffed just like his regular attack does. Anyway, Mako continuing to build troops here. Continue to get Fire Drake roots. He hasn't got the Fire Drake from the fort yet, I don't think, has he? I don't remember seeing it. But I do think it would be very useful. The Watcher being brought up from Mako to try and counter this Dwarven invasion again. Looks like the Citadel still stands. I guess Rebuild being used on it, maybe twice. Depending on if both players use it or not. It has been alive for a while. Fortunately for Fenix, he does have a trebuchet that can reach it. Might have been worthwhile to actually put a catapult expansion in the back of this. Or in front of this, one of the two. Before it went down, but maybe not. It is a lot of money to throw down on that. And we have Summon Rohan allies being brought in, as well as Tom Bombadil. He really wants to get rid of this trebuchet, or this Citadel. Goblins continuing to go around ravaging. I think at this point Mako should probably go for Forged Blades for his Goblin Warriors. They'd be taking down things a lot faster. He doesn't really have much in the way of resistance as well. So upgrades definitely would have been a good choice for the Goblin player. And he also never rebuilt his Spider Pit. Once the Spider Pit was gone, he never rebuilt it. I think Spider Riders would have still been useful all throughout this game. But he seems to be doing well without them, so props to him for that. The Mountain Giants and Goblin spam, as well as the Fire Drake broods, seem to do the job here. Prince Baron will undoubtedly be killed off. I don't see him getting out of there anytime soon. So he'll go down fighting at least. But unfortunately that is another big loss for the Dwarven team. So SaMuRaI will not have Prince Brand for his defense while Fenix pushes in on his base. He does have 2 trebuchets ready to do some damage, as well as a lot of archers and a lot of Rohirrim. Some of these are real Rohirrim, some of them aren't. We do have a Balrog being summoned in. Fire whipping him right away. And with the Balrog's appearance, he should be able to finish off the majority of this stuff. King Dane trying to flee. Heal being thrown down. Will he make it to the mineshaft? I think he actually did. Yeah, he actually barely made it away. Well, unfortunately for him, though, he's not going to have a home to come back to. Flamen's base is going to die here. He has 4 Mountain Giants pounding away at his fortress, as well as an army of guys in front of it. And I think this might be GG for Flamen. Unfortunately for him, his ally can't come to his aid either. There's a rebuild, though, but at this point it's not going to matter. There's too many Mountain Giants throwing rocks, and of course I believe Balrog could actually finish off the fortress at this point. Flamen has been defeated. Oh goodness. That leaves SaMuRaI alone against the might of the Goblins and the Men of the West. He's already had his hands full with the Men of the West, so I don't see that ending well for him. Although he's been doing very well. It's been very back and forth on the right side of the map. Left side of the map as well, though. I did think Flamen was going to kill off Mako for quite a few times there. He had the force to do so, it felt. But apparently not. But yeah, this has been a well-played game, I'd say. Very back and forth, very enjoyable. And now the Goblins will, of course, encroach on the other Dwarves' lands. And begin pillaging his way through. It looks like we have some Spiderlings up for Goblins. A few Goblins being butchered by their own giant rocks. You do have to be careful about that. Same goes with any team, really. Of course, the top team is benefiting from darkness as well, which is going to completely be really bad for the Dwarves. Going to make the archers that much more deadly from Fenix over here. Fenix even has a bit of a forward barracks over there. His builder's in a bit risky spot, though. King Dane going to try and kill him off. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. And now King Dane will begin taking a lot of arrow damage. And we have Rohirrim out, which will crush these men of Dale. Like the whelps they are. Being led by King Theoden, of course. And they will run down King Dane. There can only be one king. And that will be King Theoden, it seems. And now the Mountain Giants, once again, destroying another Dwarven citadel. Or fortress, rather. Not citadel. Earthquake being used by the Men of the West, finishing up that fort there. And now there's only a small remnant of the base of SaMuRaI left to contend with. And the northern team will take this game. Looks like Gimli's killed off a majority of the giants. He's only left one giant, but at this point the Rohan will probably be more than enough to deal with this, as well as the rest of the archers and stuff. No. There you go. And now just this barracks here, and then the game will be over. Very close. Breathe, breathe on it. Yes. Excellent. Alright, well, SaMuRaI and Flamen put up a good fight, but the winners of this game are Mako and Fenix. That was a good match, though. I enjoyed that quite a bit. Good to see the Dwarves do well, but at the end they didn't quite make it to the end. Didn't make it to the finish line, unfortunately for them. But 2 Dwarves can be quite deadly, as they've seen there. Just never underestimate the Dwarves. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that game. I thought it was pretty good, and I hope you did as well. So I will see you guys in the next cast of the Rise of the Witch King, patch 2.02. See you guys next time.